Yeah, welcome back to Group Theory Part 7. Today we will study cosets and Lagrange's theorem. Cosets has important role in the partition of groups. You can say if you know the partitions, entire partitions are distinct partitions of the group, you can form a group taking the union of all the partitions. So let's start with cosets. Suppose G be a group and H is any subgroup of G. Let A be any element of G, then the set, then the set H into A. If you multiply, if operation is multiplication is given, is equal to collection of all H into A, where H belongs to subsets, subgroup, and A is the element of group. It's called it's called a right coset of H in G generated by A. If operation is not given, we will consider in multiplication. In the term of addition, this definition will look like this. If an operation is addition, H plus A, H belongs to H. It's called the right coset of H generated by A. Similarly, the set A into H, if you take H in the left hand side, it will be the multiplication of A into H. H belongs to subgroup capital H. It's called a left coset of H in G generated by element A. Generated by element A. We have some remarks here. HA and AH both are subsets of G. Both are subsets of G. Okay. Next point. If the group G is abelian, then we have AH equal to HA for every H belongs to capital H. Then it will imply left coset equal to right coset. But this will hold when G is abelian. However, if the group G is not abelian, then we may have AH equal to HA or AH not equal to HA. It means we cannot make any comment when G is not abelian group. But if G is abelian, then left coset will be equal to right coset. If operation is not given, we will consider as a multiplication. Okay. Let's see one example. Let G be the set of all integers -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on. Okay. And H be the subgroup of G obtained on multiplying each element of G by 3. Then what will be H? Can you tell me? Yes, H will be if you multiply 3 every term, It will be -9, -6, -3, 0, 3, 6, 9. And we know that G is a set of integers, is an abelian group over the addition, over the operation addition. Since G is abelian group over operation addition. Now our aim to find the left cosets and right cosets of H. Okay, if G is abelian, then any right coset, we have to make every right coset actually, will be, every right coset will be equal to the corresponding left coset. Means here we here do not need to find both left and right coset, because right coset will be equal to left coset due to group is abelian. So here if we able to find the right cosets, that will be equal to left cosets also. Let's start with right cosets. Right cosets. So first element I am taking a group is 0. So H plus 0. I am taking first element 0 belongs to group G. Then start with H plus A. I told you this definition will be H plus A if the operation is addition. Here operation is addition. If you add 0 in the H only, you will get H. There will be no change. So it will be -9, -6, -3, 0, 3, 6, 9, and it will be equal to 0 plus H also. This is actually right coset of H generated by 0. This is the left coset of H generated by 0. Now take another element, 1 belongs to G. Okay. So H plus 1 will be, if you add 1, you will get -8, -5, -2, 1, 4, 7, 10, and so on. This will be equal to 1 plus H also, because group is abelian. Now the second element 2 belongs to H. So H plus 2 will be equal to -7, -4, -1, 2, 5, 8, 11. This will be equal to 2 plus H also. Now take 3 belongs to group, because 3 is also belonging to group. H plus 3 is going to be -6, -3, 0, 3, 6, 9. It means before that element you will get -9. It means it is repeating here. It is equal to H only. So you are not getting distinct coset here. It is equal to H only. Similarly, if you take minus element, -1 belongs to G, then H -1, H plus -1 can be written as H -1. If you subtract -1, you will get 0, -8, subtract -5, -2, -1, subtract -1, then you will get -1, 5, 2, 5, 2, 5, 8, and so on. Can you tell me, is it equal to some subset? Yes, it is equal to this actually, H plus 2. So now you are getting repeated here. So for negative, no need to check. Only for positive you can check. So actually we are getting here 3 distinct cosets. So we see that the right cosets H, H plus 1, H plus 2 are all distinct, and others are equal to these 3 only. And these are disjoints also. Means there is a no element common in these cosets, such that have no common element. Disjoint means have no common elements. So now G can be written as H union H plus 1 union H plus 2. If you take the union of all these three right cosets, you will get the entire group G. Entire group G. So this is the theory of right coset. Here left coset will be equal because group is abelian. Let's see the next example. Let G be the group of all permutations of degree 3. I have already discussed this example in previous lecture. On set S equal to 1, 2, 3, then the elements of G are the permutations. And how many permutation you will get? 6 factorial 3. I already told you F1, F2, F6. F1 is actually identity. 1 is mapping with 1, 2 is mapping with 2, 3 is mapping with 3. F2 is 1 is mapping with 2 and 3 is mapping to 3. F3 is, so 3 map with 3, we can skip that. 1 is mapped with 1, 2 is mapped with 3. F4, 1 is mapped with 3, 3 is mapped with 1 and 2 is mapped with 2. F5, 1, 2, 3 and F6 is equal to 1, 3, 2. If you want, you can write like this 1, 2, 3. Suppose F3 you want to write 1 is mapped with 1, 2 is mapped with 3, 3 is mapped with 2. So this is also an element of permutation P3 group. This is actually, if you take the group here, it is a P3 group. I already told you. Let H be the subgroup of G consisting of the permutations F1 and F2. Then suppose H is a subgroup of G which contain only two elements F1, F2. F1 is identity and F2 is another element. So you can verify that this is a subgroup actually. You can verify it. This will hold all the properties of group. Now you want to find the right coset. You want to find the right coset under the permutations multiplication. So we can find like this. Let's see the solution. Let us form the here right coset need not be equal to left coset because the set of permutation is not an abelian group. So if group is not abelian, we cannot make any comment over the equality or non-equality of cosets. Write cosets of H in G. So start with first element H F1 because F1 is the first element belongs to group G. I am claiming here that group G is this actually. P3 is a group G. So if you multiply its identity element, you will get AH only. Now multiply with F2. F2 is again next element of group. Similar manner, we proceed for that the previous problem. H plus 2 because the operation was addition, here multiplication. HF2, if you multiply, what is H actually? H is F1 into F2. So you multiply with F2, you will get a F1, F2, comma, F2, F2. So F1, F2 will be F2 actually because F1 is identity. If you multiply identity permutation, so any permutation, you will get the permutation only. Multiply F2, F2. I can give you hint here. If you multiply F2, F2, you will get a good result. What is F2 actually? F2 is 1, 2, 3. 1 is mapped with 2, 2 is mapped with 1, 3 is mapped with 3. And if you multiply same function 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 3. So you will get what will be the product 1, 2, 3. 1 is going to 2, 2 is going to 1, 2 is going to 1, 1 is going to 2, 3 is going to 3, 3 is going to 3. So it is equal to F1 only. Means this is F1 only. So this is again equal to the H. Okay. Let's see the third HF3. So it will be F1, F3, comma, F2, F3. F1, F3 will be F3 only because F1 is identity. Multiply F2 and F3. Similarly, you can multiply like this. I have written here. F2 is this one and F3 is this one. You can multiply. You will get, I'm writing directly, you will get F6 actually. Then F4, F1, F4, F2, F4, it will be equal to F4 comma F5. Okay. Then HF5, it will be F1 F5 comma F2 F5. Multiply F2 F5. F1 F5 will be F5 only. It will give you F4. That is equal to HF4 only because the elements are same. Okay. HF6, F1 F6, F2 F6. F1 F6 will be F6 only. F2 F6 is F3. So it is again equal to F3 only. So how many distinct you are getting? 1, 2 and 3. These are equal. So these are not distinct here. So only 3 cosets are distinct. HF3 and HF4. So if you take the union of these 3 cosets, you will get the entire group G. Similarly, you can find the left coset of this subgroup in group G. Similarly, we can find left cosets. But here I want to tell you important result. If you take the left quotient means F3H, when you find F1H, F2H, F3H, F2, F6H, F3H will be equal to F3, F1, F3, F2. So it will be equal to F3 and sorry. If you multiply F3, F2, you will get F5 actually. You can see that. And here HF3 is equal to F3, F6, but here F3H equal to F3, H5. This is not equal to HF3. It means here left coset is not equal to right coset corresponding to any particular element. Here is also F3, here is also F3. Okay. So you can check that we will get only 3 left cosets. 3 left cosets. Okay, let's see one important remark. Any 2 cosets, right or left? Right, similarly theory for left. Cosets of a subgroup are either disjoint, means there will be no common element, or identical. Identical means similar. So there is only 2 possible. Totally disjoint or totally identical. Okay. You can prove this result. I am giving you as a homework. Prove this. This is important result. Next is Lagrange's theorem. Most important for 10 marks question. For 10 marks question. Let's see this statement of the theorem. The order of each subgroup of a finite group is a divisor of the order of the group. Means order of group is divided by always order of subgroup. Let's see the proof. Let G be a group of finite order n. What is the order of group here? I am considering order of group is n. Let H be a subgroup of G and let order of H is M. Then our aim is to prove M is divided n perfectly. Means if the order of subgroup is M, then H has M distinct elements there. H1, H2, H3, Hm, so on. Let A be any element in group G and we want to find the cosets here. Then H into A is a right coset of H in G, and we have, what will be the definition of H into A? It will be equal to multiplication with every element, H1A, H2A, H3A, and so on, HMA. HMA. And I told you, any two, the previous result, any two disjoint, suppose disjoint cosets I am considering here, right cosets of H in G, any two distinct, distinct. Right cosets of Ng are disjoint such that they have no element in common. No element in common. Since otherwise identical, then there is a no meaning for that coset. Since G is a finite group, the number of distinct right cosets of H in G will be finite, let equal to K. So some may be identical, some will be disjoint. So supposing that disjoint are K actually. Then if HA1, HA2 and I am supposing HAK are the K distinct right cosets of H in G, then we know that we can write G as the union of all the right cosets, H A union H, A2 union A3 union so on, union HAK. Or you can say the number of elements in G is equal to the number of elements in HA1 plus the number of elements in HA2. All the elements are distinct actually. All the elements are distinct. Plus so on, the number of elements in HAK. So how many number of elements in G? That is actually N. I am supposing order of group. How many elements in HA1? HA1 will have always, if you define HA, order of HA will be always equal to M for every A. So M plus M, how many times? How many cosets? K times. So you can write N equal to K into M, or you can write K is equal to N by M. So order of group is divided by order of subgroup, and K is called here index. It will be some positive value, 5, 6, 7, positive natural number. Positive the integer or natural number. Implies that order of H is a divisor of order of group. So this is our proof of the result. So we have some important points also here. Some important notes. First note is, if H is a subgroup of a finite group G, then the index is K actually, I told you, of H in G is equal to the number of distinct right or left cosets. I already told you, or left cosets of H in G is equal to order of G over order of H. That is actually the definition of K. Second important point is converse of Lagrange's theorem is need not be true. What is the meaning? The converse meaning, order of group is divisible by order of subgroup. Suppose order of group is 12. Then what will be the divisors of 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. So converse says it does not imply that group G of order 12 has subgroup of all the divisors order. Means we cannot make any comment that if group has order 12, then all the divisors of 12 means 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12 order, we will have a subgroup. Suppose I am saying that I am a group of order 6, then I cannot make comment that I have a subgroup of order 2, 4 or 1 order. Means divisor we cannot make comment. Means if order of group is n, then G may not have subgroup of order of divisor of n. For example, A4, I told you AN, the group of even permutations. So what will be the order of that group? 4 factorial by 2 and factorial by 2. So what will be the order? 12, 24 by 2, order of 12. Group of order 12 has no subgroup of order 6. But if any group of order 12 has a subgroup of some order, that order will always divide the order of group. This is the Lagrange's theorem, but converse is need not be true. Okay, next theorem I'm giving you as a homework. This is also most important theorem. Let H and K be finite subgroups of a group G, then order of H into K multiplication is equal to order of H, order of K over order of H intersection K. Last time one question is asked on this theorem. Next is relation of congruence modulo. Congruence modulo. I have already discussed this topic in modulo also and integers equivalence relation, but I am going to quick revise in set of integers. Let's see the definition. Let M be any fixed positive integer, then an integer A is said to be congruent to another integer B over modulo M if M divides A minus B, such that A minus B is divisible by M. What is the notation? Is A congruence B modulo M. For example, 15 is congruence to minus 5 over modulo 4. Because if you subtract 15 minus 5, 20 divided by 5. So it is 15 is congruence to minus 5. Now our aim is to show that congruence modulo M is an equivalence relation. So for solution, you see my equivalence relation. I told you if A is related to B and A minus B is divisible by some positive integer M, then it is form an equivalence relation. I have discussed this problem. And this is actually given A related B means A congruent to B. Then the definition is similar to the problem I have discussed in equivalence relation lecture. So this is the ending of the lecture, and this was the syllabus in given in math third from AK2 in group theory. Next topic I will discuss ring and field. Okay, thank you.